want to talk about the team that leads the NFC East, okay? Classic game in Washington. Bears fans so mad. Jayden Daniels, it was a miracle. Was there a little luck involved? Sure. But you don't want him to make this happen? Stop him! He weaves his way through the Bears. I don't even want to talk. Have I seen this a million times? Sure. This is the Freddie Freeman of Week 8, okay? He uncorks this unlikely, improbable grand slam of a Hail Mary, 52 yards, Noah Brown. It's so fun. Gotta love Dan Quinn. We love the Commanders. The Up and Adam Show loves the Commanders. Always has. It's coming together now. It's so beautiful to watch. That's the moment. That's the play of the season so far. They got lucky. Go on. Play of the year. Stuff of legends from that will be replayed forever. And it certainly will be in his OPOI, in his MVP case that is growing. Here's head coach Dan Quinn on what that kind of finish means for his squad.
In that locker room is a group of really tough people that genuinely care about one another and play and coach for one another. And that's a hard thing to assemble. And it's not easy, and it takes work, and you got to go through tough nights like tonight, which at times was very frustrating. And but to see this group stick together and know that, like, man, we're never out of it, and that's a really big deal. So I wanted to acknowledge that.
If they lose this game, that would be such a gut punch. That would be horrible. It would have been painful. Why? Because they were so good. They controlled the game. They had 500 yards of offense. They weren't finishing drives, so that wasn't great. They missed the field goal, which was, I mean, I was about to tweet. I had a couple beers. I was at the game. I'm tweeting about the kicker, like just rubbing the salt into the wounds of Jets fans everywhere that this Austin kid is like making history with records. He missed one. It wasn't great. The defense, they sort of dominated early and then they gave up the go-ahead score late. The day was sort of frustrating, missed opportunities, emotional roller coaster. But as Dan Quinn just said, they showed off the mental toughness, and that is a DQ thing. And I love that. And it wasn't just about the Hail Mary. No. The Commanders, on their own 24, 12 seconds left, talk about composure. Look at this. Jayden to Ertz. National tight ends there. It all makes sense. Quick strike to Terry McLaurin. That was a beautiful throw. Oh, my goodness. There was no sulking. There was no panic. This is a well-coached football team. This is a cold-blooded quarterback who's not 100%. A rookie doesn't flinch. So whether they hit that Hail Mary or not, that was evident in that sequence. And Jayden's now, I mean, I love Caleb. I hated watching Caleb watch that play. That's like the kind of TikTok I don't need to see. It's so uncomfortable. But he has taken over the race. If you look at it, he's minus 450 to win it. Caleb moves to plus 1,000.
Playing defense, and when you get Hail Mary passes like that, you know the only thing that can happen poorly is on your shoulders. And for that to happen, it's just a great end of the game for Washington. It's kind of epitomizes who they are, the never say die team. But you just got to knock it down. When you talk about end of game situations and Hail Marys, you're taught there's guys that are box out defenders that guard people, and then there's people that are jumpers. And in this situation right here, it looks like everybody on Chicago is going for the ball. But I think really what it comes down to is the play before, where they played so far off and gave him that little 12-yard out route, which made this play possible. I think is more of the head-scratching play at the end of the game.
Have you ever been part of a Hail Mary that was completed?
I was not, but we had one against Houston in 2019, and I'll tell you what, Eric Reed made a great play on the ball in the end zone. Deshaun threw one up. Eric Reed jumped over everybody, could have caught the ball, but just knocked it down. Everybody boxed out. Eric Reed came out of nowhere, jumped over everybody, and literally threw the ball on the ground. He could have caught it, but he threw the ball on the ground. Just a great play. But those situations are so hard. Everybody's going after the ball, and there's so much pressure on the defense because, we should be able to knock this down. But once that ball gets popped up in the air, it seems like it's in the air forever.
I remember I was talking to Hamilton before the show. There was one that Cam tried against the Saints, and Sean was like, absolutely not, and sent the house at him, and it didn't work out. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I think that was in the playoffs of 2017. I think it kicked us out of the playoffs there. But like you said, I'm a huge proponent of sending 5 guys, 6 guys at the quarterback and make that ball come out.
Totally.
I mean, they rushed 3 guys, 3 defensive linemen. They had a backer as a spy. He runs to his right, then comes back to his left, and there's nobody in front of him challenging him
Yes.
when that ball gets thrown.
Why are we sitting back? And then to add question marks to injury or whatever you want to say, like Tyreek Stevenson. And he apologized, by the way. So here's if anybody
not a good look.
talk to me. Talk to me, Luke. Talk to him. Talk to everyone.
When the ball gets snapped, they're playing with 9 guys because the linebacker's off the ball as a spy player. Tyreek Stevenson's talking to the crowd, and then as the play goes on, he gets involved and tips it up to Noah Brown for the touchdown. So I know he tweeted something out, but him walking into that locker room and he sees that tape of him talking to the fans. He's got to feel tiny, and then again he's going to go in the day and he's going to watch that tape and have to deal with it all over again. So I'm sure he's not proud of it. I'm sure those fans were chirping at him, but you got to finish till the end of the game, and
Yeah.
I'm sure he learned a valuable lesson.
DJ Moore said that the captains are going to address it. So if this is you and you're the captain in there, how are you addressing it?
I think for DJ to say that, I love DJ
Yeah.
saying that, just shows the growth of him. He's one of the best guys that ever played with as far as a teammate, but I think Tyreek Stevenson understands the situation. He understands what he did wrong. And I think it's just good for these older guys to go in there and say, hey, we understand what you did is wrong. You got to be team first guy. We appreciate you taking responsibility for it, but moving forward, we got to see that stuff like this doesn't happen again. It's going to start with his approach on Monday, Tuesday, and then the first day at practice on Wednesday. That's really when you'll see what kind of rebound Tyreek Stevenson has, but they'll go talk about it. Obviously, he knows what he did is wrong. So I think that's the biggest thing, is just awareness by him to say, what I did was incorrect. I'm going to take full responsibility for it. And moving forward, I have to show you guys that I'm better for it. That you can't just sit there and talk and say, hey, my fault, my bad, I can't do that. You got to show these older guys that, yeah, it was your bad. What are you going to do moving forward to improve?
Is there anything holding you back from just going all in with the Commanders?
No, I like them. I like the energy there. I got a bunch
you're
of
12
buddies up
when
there.
you said that. I love that.
Well, I like Dan Quinn. I've always liked his energy.
Yeah.
I think guys play really hard for him. At the end of that game, they showed Dan Quinn and Frankie Louvu, 2 guys that Frankie was here for a while. I love him. They got Bobby Wagner. I think Terry McLaurin. All you've ever heard about Terry is works extremely hard, super talented, never complains, great leader. And then now for him and this team to have success, there's just so many positive stories on this team about good dudes and guys that have played hard and guys that have been through the ringer.
Sure, so you champion them, but Luke, when you say you like them, what does that take me somewhere? Where's that? Put your money where your mouth is there. Are we talking division winning?
I think right now they're rolling. Obviously, Philly had a big win, but I think right now they're rolling in the favorite in that division.
I love to hear
What
you
do
say
you think?
that. I mean, I would love to see that. They're minus 290 to make the playoffs. They're heavy favorites right now, which I love. They got to go to New York and take care of the Giants. They're plus 140, by the way, if you're hanging out on FanDuel doing some sports equinox betting. Plus 140 to win the division. Philly is favored over them.